You're watching Caribbean Vibrations, and we are here with Muhammad, one of the lead vocalists of the musical collective, Freetown Collective, who'll be performing this Sunday, August 6th, as part of Island Soul at the Harbourfront Centre. Now, this is their second time in Canada, and we're pleased to have you on to speak right now about what's coming up. So, first of all, how are you doing today, King?
I'm good. I'm very, very good. We're preparing for a trip, and so it's just a lot of rehearsals going on and stuff like that. So pacing myself and staying energized.
Nice. Now, for those who don't know, we're watching and meeting you guys for the first time. Where do you guys represent in the Caribbean?
We are from Trinidad and Tobago, the beautiful Twin Island state.
And truthfully, you guys are, because you're from Trinidad and Lou's from Tobago. Is that how it works?
I'm from Trinidad and Lou is from Tobago. So we are literally from Trinidad and Tobago. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, I was doing a little bit of research on you guys, and one of the things when I heard the name Freetown and Collective, I was like, okay, this is very interesting, you know? So can you explain to the audience how you guys came up with the name?
So, you know, as Caribbean people, as Black people in the world, there's often active erasure of our history, you know? And the colonizers will have their own reasons, right? And we have ours. When I was in my early 20s, I found out that the place that I live, which is now called Belmont, was originally called Freetown. And it was originally called Freetown because in the mid-1800s, a group of Africans came here from West Africa, and they did not come as slaves. They came as indentured workers. So they had signed contracts, and they came with their own money, which is very interesting. Not a story you hear very often in the Caribbean. They came with their own money, and they bought a very large piece of land, right? And they named that place Freetown, right? Which, if you kind of think about it, in a time of slavery, is a spit in the face of white people, right? Like, really, it's like, I'm going to name this place Freetown, right? And what they did is that they would buy other people. They would buy people. They would buy their own people. They would buy Africans, and they would let them work in Freetown for their freedom, right? And then they would pay them back, and etc., etc. So they would work and pay them back. But this part of the history was completely erased. And by the time I was born, it was called Belmont. And very few people, even the people that live here, they know of the name. And when I found out the history, I was like, this is so powerful that I need to record this somehow. But I started to look around the neighborhood, and I was like, you know, this could not be what my ancestors intended. Like, I have a crack house literally 4 blocks from where I am right now. That's not, you know, there's a lot of drug abuse and crime and stuff like that. And in many of our communities, it's like that. And so we started Freetown with the idea of everyone that listens to the music in and of themselves becomes a Freetown. And so they can go forward and free other people. So it's about empowering people in that sense, you know, as our ancestors would have intended. Yeah.
That's powerful, because especially as Caribbean people, we're really starting to understand our connection with the motherland. You know, we went to Ethiopia a couple years ago, no, actually about 4 years ago, and it's like, when you go there, you see yourself in a different way. So the fact that, like you said, in Trinidad, there's a place where they were free. You know, it wasn't no slavery thing going on, and unfortunately, these things have happened. As I was saying to you before off camera, you and Lou do not come from a traditional musical background. So how do you guys come together and connect?
We met for the first time in 2005. I was hosting an open mic, and this man appeared, and he signed up for the open mic and started to perform. And when he started to perform, I mean, I was blown away. I was like, who is this individual, right? Because of the stuff that he was saying, and he was so talented. And, you know, sometimes you and somebody just click. Yes. And so we pulled aside and started talking, and we spoke all night. Like, we spoke all night. We didn't exchange numbers or anything like that, and he disappeared. I didn't see him again for 4 years after that.
Whoa.
And then I went to Tobago. Yeah, I went to Tobago, and I was performing. And when I finished performing, this man walks up and takes this Ethiopian cross off his neck and puts it over on mine. And he looks at me and he says, "You that guy?" I was like, "You that man?" And he was like, "Yeah." And from that day, that was it. I think that was that was the end of 2008, beginning of 2009. And I think we've been inseparable since then. We've not been friends, and we would have started Freetown a year after that, just about.
People who've never been to a Freetown Collective event or performance. It's not a concert, it's a performance.
Oh, so sorry.
Right?
So sorry for them.
Yeah. What can they expect if they're coming? Like, I'm trying to get them to come on Sunday. So what can they expect from you guys?
Listen, our approach to music is that we aim in straight for the heart and soul. That's where we want to live. You know, everything else will move along with it. The body moves along with it. The waist move along with it. You know, the mind moves along with it. But everything from everything from love songs to songs that's gonna make you want to cry to songs that are going to make you want to jump and laugh, and it's feeling. Some of the people who come to our shows over the years have described it as church. You know, it's praise, but it's a very beautiful form of coming together. That's what happens. When we bring people into the same space, there's this amalgamation that happens, and the energy just kind of vibrates, you know, and it gets higher and higher and higher as we go. It's so much love. It's so much love. It's so much opening and unfolding. We encourage people in the audience who've never met to interact with each other to, you know, at the end of it all, it really ends up just feeling like this big soup of love in front of you, you know. And you have people, you know, everything from dancing to literally praying, you know. So that's what we try to create.
I love that, because again, from your music, you can see it's a higher energy. And again, we're Caribbean vibrations, so we understand that's always been our motto, to vibrate through the Caribbean with positivity, because that's all we focus on when we cover things. Because for us, it's like there's so much stuff out there, negativity, but we're such a great people as Caribbean people, all the things that we do, and we have to focus on. That's why, like, when I hear your music, it inspires me, and I feel good because I understand where you're coming from, because we need that higher level of celebrating each other and saying, look at this. What you taught me today about Freetown, Belmont. I've been to Belmont. I've been to the Hilton. I've been to all those, and I would have never thought in my wildest dreams that's what the ancestors had planned for us.
There's a saying that says, if you want to poison our people, poison their stories, right? Poison the things that they say to themselves about themselves. And while, we are telling the stories of our places, we have to learn to use our God-given imagination, literally dream stance. That's not good enough for me, a storyteller. You can't, in front of me, continue to feed my people poison over and over, because what we live in is poison. And the only way out of it is to dream our ways out of it and to speak about the selves that we see beyond where we are. To me, that is just where it is. That's where life is. That's where everything is. Dreaming it.
Beautiful.
Dreaming beyond.
I love it, because again, you guys are possibilities. You guys are what the ancestors dreamed of. We all are every time when we do something. So is there anything else you tell our Caribbean Vibration viewers about Freetown Collective?
Freetown Collective, you know, we also are heavily involved in social work. So so we've actually formed a separate company to our band, Freetown Collective Limited. We've formed a separate company called Idea Futures. And what we do with Idea Futures is that we encourage corporate entities, not encourage. We find ways for them to spend their corporate social responsibility funds in more meaningful ways within the communities. So instead of just coming in and building a playground and handing out hampers, we say, this is how you can economically develop this community. And we've been working with different organizations such as Associated Brands, the Massey Group, quite a few people, First Citizens Bank, towards this end. You know what I mean? I have influence to know that when you're approached by a corporate entity, you are not just negotiating on your own behalf, but you're negotiating on behalf of the people who have lifted you up into a position where you're able to entertain these entities. And therefore, your fame, your notoriety, all of these things are only possible because of the people. And therefore, you are indebted to people. This is not about you alone. While it is about you and sustaining yourself, as an artist, we should be more than being placed on a billboard or selling some phones or whatever the hell it is, right? Those things are minor things in comparison to how powerful we are as artists. So we should be on the level of being able to negotiate with governments on behalf of our people because of the level of influence that we have. And when you look at other places in the world, this happens. But for some reason, you know, sometimes in the Caribbean, it seems to fall short. And I'm not sure exactly why that is, but we're here to fix that. We're here to change that. You know what I mean? And so Freetown Collective is also about changing the view of artists, especially in the Caribbean, where it seems as though that level of power at times is not accessed. You know, when you look back to someone like the great Bob Marley was a political figure. He was not an entertainer, as much as what he did was very entertaining. Entertaining is easy for us. We're artists. What we do is unique. So we put it before you and you'll be entertained. But what is the worth of that? And for me, that's the question that Freetown is trying to answer.
So poignant, so spot on. And Muhammad, I really thank you for your time. And I'm going to see you on Sunday at the concert.
Yeah, man. Looking forward.
Enjoy myself, okay? So thanks again.
Looking forward.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, brother.
Blessings. And you're watching Caribbean Vibrations.